Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to have something to collide into. So at the moment, our character can just walk about freely, and if I just run the game, you'll see we're going to run into some problems because they could potentially just keep walking forever. If I just hold the up button, my character's going to keep going and going and going and going. And I'm going to have to hold down for a while now until my character comes back onto the screen. What we are supposed to be trying to create is we want to create a sort of maze game, don't we? We need to, first of all, actually create some walls, something for the character to bump into to actually make it a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to close this for now. I'm going to go to new sprite. So create sprite again. So create sprite. I'm going to call this sprite wall. And again, this is just going to be a placeholder, so I'm just going to put anything in for now. I'm going to make it very basic. I'm just going to make it orange. So I'm going to use paint bucket. I'm going to fill the whole thing in orange. So I'm going to come back now to my objects. I'm going to now create a new object, and I'm going to select this as the sprite. So sprite. I'm going to choose my sprite wall. I'm going to right click on this over here. I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to rename it object wall. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my room, and I'm going to drag an object wall in, and I'm just going to click on it once, and I should be able to stretch it like this, so I can make it a little bit bigger. I'll get another one. I'll put it here. Again, I'm just going to stretch it. I'm going to get another one here, and just want to sort of enclose our player in for now. I'm not going to actually be creating any kind of complex maze at all. So another object wall over here, and drag that across. I'll make this a little bit smaller just to keep it nice and tidy. There we go. So if I run it now, you'll see that the player works the same as before, and I've got these walls here. However, it just goes underneath the wall. Okay, it doesn't actually, the wall doesn't stop anything. And the reason for that is we need to actually program a collision. So we want the player to do something, or rather we want it to not do something if it thinks it's going to bump into a wall. So we're going to use some code to basically check to see if the player is going to bump into a wall. And if they are going to bump into a wall, we don't want the player to move. So close that. We're going to go back onto the code for our sprite player. And what we're going to do is we're going to go, the code, not sprite. So back into the object for our sprite player. We'll say here, just above where it says Y movement and X movement, here, so the Y equals Y plus Y movement, X equals X plus Y, X movement. We only want this to run basically if the player is not about to bump into a wall. So we go if, and what we're going to put is an exclamation mark. Okay, so what an exclamation mark does before a condition is basically checks if it's not true. So we're going to say x if exclamation mark place meeting. Okay, so basically, is it going to meet this object? So if place meeting, I'm going to say x plus x movement. Okay, so if when we add x, the x movement, so we're planning on moving, let's say 4 pixels down. Well, if x plus the x movement is going to be bumping into this wall, I'm going to say y plus y movement. Okay, because these numbers are either going to be 0 or -4 or 4. Yeah, so it's going to add it, and it's going to check to see if we're going to bump into what we've called our object wall. So we'll just close that. We'll put a curly bracket there at the end, and we'll put another curly bracket here. So that means that this will only happen if the player is about to bump into the wall, essentially. Okay, so if place meeting, and I feel like I've made a mistake here, X movement, just give me an error, object wall. Oh yes, I haven't called my object wall. I should be object underscore wall, like that. There we go, that's my problem. Okay, so is it still giving me an error? No, so that should be okay now. So I'm going to press play or run, and here we go. So I'm going to move it. Yeah, there you go. So it cannot go through the walls now, because what it's doing is it's checking to see if it's about to bump into the wall or if it's about to sort of touch the wall essentially, and if it is, it will not run that code. Okay, so there we go. So now there is no way for my player sprite, my player object rather, to get through these walls.